And welcome to Team Fire Away and Let Your Light Shine's team call.
You want grapes and blueberries?
Hold on just a sec. Okay. We have Josh on today's call. Where did you go, Josh? There he is. Okay. And so Josh and I have been talking. We've been having one-on-ones, and it's really been helping me kind of talk to him about things, and he kind of points things out that I would never expect, or I guess realize myself if I weren't talking to someone else. And so it's been really helpful for me as a leader to grow. And I think he's had some other calls I know with Team Empower and some other people on Team Let Your Light Shine. So I'm really excited to have him talk with us today about overcoming your fears. So Josh, if you want to take it away, I'm going to pin your video.
Yes.
You are all set.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I had some crazy technical difficulties and my audio wasn't working. I'm freaking out over here. So, Emma, thank you so much for having me on the call. And Alexa, I appreciate it so much. I have no idea what you said on that introduction because my internet still wasn't working. So hopefully you didn't say that I suck. But thank you, everyone, for hopping on the call tonight. I'm really excited to be able to speak to you tonight. I'm going to try to keep it as short as I can so we can have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. But as Emma, I'm sure, told you, probably, I'm going to be talking about overcoming your fears. So first of all, I want to talk about what fear is, why we have fear, and then how we can overcome it. So if we just know how to overcome fear, I mean, that is a really cool thing. But the problem is fear is going to be around the rest of your life. And if you don't understand what it really is and why it's there, you're going to think that something's wrong with you. And you're going to go around the rest of your life thinking, what the heck is wrong with me? Why do I keep having this fear? So hopefully I can help kind of answer why that is tonight, and then what it is, and then how we overcome it. So first of all, what is fear? I love a definition that my youth pastor actually gave me growing up as a teenager. And he said that fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. If anyone else is having trouble hearing me, I saw a message pop up. Keep those messages coming to Emma so we'll know. So fear is basically kind of an emotional feeling we get about a perceived result. That's actually a definition I found on dictionary.com, a perceived result. In other words, it's something you don't know if it's going to happen or not. And so what I love about that acronym of false evidence appearing real is so many times that's true. Think about this. When you were a little kid, how many of you were scared of the dark? Raise your hand if you were scared of the dark. If you're not raising your hand right now, you're a liar. As kids, we were all scared of the dark. What would happen? The lights are on, right? Mom and dad kisses you goodnight, whatever. And then the second they shut the door and turn off that light, what happens? We start imagining the craziest stuff in the world, like monsters in the closet, right? Where do we get the idea that there's monsters in the closet? And if there's monsters in the closet, where the heck were they 5 seconds ago when the light was on? Or how about this? If you're like me and as a little kid, maybe you accidentally snuck watching Chucky on the TV. Mom and dad didn't know about it, but you know, you had the TV turned on after they went to bed. And so every night I would go to bed scared to death that like all of my stuffed animals were going to come to life and stab me to death in my sleep. Now, that's crazy, right? Has that ever actually happened to anyone on the planet? Has anyone ever been stabbed to death by a stuffed animal that you know of? No, that's not logical. What happens is when we can't see what's going on around us, our imagination goes to town and starts thinking up of every possible crazy thing that could possibly go wrong. And unfortunately, it is a very emotional experience. I mean, those emotions flood over you in such a strong and powerful way that it's like it is almost impossible to believe that it's not the right thing because those emotions are so strong. And we deal with that for the rest of our lives. Let's think about your health journey. When you signed up for that first challenge pack, I bet the second you hit submit to actually purchase that thing, your mind started going crazy. What if I can't get the same results that the people on the infomercials did? What if this whole thing is a scam? What if I can't do the exercises? What if it comes in the mail, I push play, and Shaun T is doing like handstand push-ups for an hour, and I can't even do a handstand? We start imagining all these crazy things that could go wrong, right? But if we stick with it, take it one day at a time, eventually, as I'm sure most of you have realized, you do get results. And you do eventually adapt to the workouts. And even if you absolutely suck at all the weird rhythmic moves that Shaun T does like I do, somehow you get through the workout and you get results, right? But then you sign up as a coach. And what happens? Once again, Mr. Fear comes knocking on the door. What if I really can't help people? What if I can't hold people accountable because I'm not perfect myself? What if I can't make any money off of this? What if I just end up wasting all this money and I get absolutely nothing out of it at all? But for a lot of you on this call, as you found out, if you'll stick with it, take it one day at a time, eventually you do see results. And you find out that all those crazy questions and fears you had were just that, crazy. Anyone can do this if you just stick to the game plan. And then some of you have got to the point where you've got coaches under you. Maybe you're getting close to Diamond, or maybe you've already reached Diamond, and now you're starting to think, what if I'm not a good leader? What if I can't train other people? What if I suck at this whole leadership thing? And the same fears start to happen. And we start getting flooded with emotions. Why do we get so scared? It's because the light isn't on. Do we have any fortune tellers on the call? Is anyone here a fortune teller? If so, please raise your hand. I have a couple questions about the stock market. If not, then all of us are in the dark when it comes to the future, right? None of us know what's going to happen tomorrow. None of us know what's going to happen 6 months from now. None of us know what's going to happen a year from now. So you begin to deal with fear because the lights are turned out. You don't know what's going to happen. And so what happens is your imagination starts drawing up all of these crazy, ridiculous conclusions that make no logical sense whatsoever. But the problem is those emotions are so strong and so heavy that it doesn't matter how illogical they are, we believe them. So that's what fear is. So let's talk about why. Why do we have fear? I was listening to a podcast a couple of years ago that was talking about a part of our brain. I wish I could remember the scientific name, but I'm not really good with big words. But we have a part of our brain that actually, the only reason it's there is to send a trigger of emotions throughout our body to scare us away from basically places that we aren't sure of, places that aren't safe. So in the caveman days, this was awesome, okay? If you're a caveman, you woke up ready to have your morning breakfast, and you walk around the corner, and there's a saber-toothed tiger chilling there. And you don't know what a saber-toothed tiger is because you don't have encyclopedias or Google or anything like that. So you don't know what a saber-toothed tiger is. Without this piece of your brain, you might walk up and try to pet the thing, right? I mean, everybody likes saber-toothed tigers. They're really friendly looking, right? Or maybe you might try to share your food with it. But fortunately, there's this piece of your brain that when it sees something unfamiliar, when it sees an unfamiliar territory, it sends a flood of emotions down your body to try to scare you so bad that in an instant, you'll take off running in the opposite direction. So there is a part of our brain that anytime we get into uncharted territory, its main function is to scare us so that we'll run somewhere safe. Does that sound familiar? when you first started your health journey, everything in you was trying to scare you back to your comfort zone. Like I said, we have all those questions. What if I can't do it? What if I can't handle it? All these stupid questions. And it is literally that piece of your brain that's saying, this is unfamiliar territory and I don't like it. So we start coming up with all these illogical, crazy fears that we have to learn how to combat. So it's important to know that there's a part of your brain that triggers you anytime you're outside of your comfort zone and says, get the heck out of here, find a safe cave to hide in. When I heard that a couple years ago, it really hit home with me because maybe hard to believe, but even though I'm a dude, I'm a little on the emotional side, okay? I played music like almost all my life, and the reason I'm good with music is because I can pour my emotions into that guitar or into that song I'm writing, okay? I'm kind of, I tell people, like, when it comes to emotions, I'm kind of a woman. And that's not an insult to you guys. That's just me being real, okay? But when I heard this on this podcast, it made sense. Because every time in my life, when I would start a band, when I would think about starting a business or a new job, anytime anything like that came up, there was like this flood of emotions that would just take over. Even when I signed up for the John Maxwell team, the night that I was actually like putting that $1,000 deposit down to get me into the Maxwell team, I was scared to death. My wife had to look me in the eye and say, you don't have a choice. We've already talked about this. This is the right decision. I don't care if you like it or not. You're hitting submit and you're signing up. That's how scared to death I was. Now, if I could tell you all of the incredible things I've got from the John Maxwell team, you would say you're a freaking idiot if you don't want to sign up for that. The truth was I did want to sign up for it, but I was scared to death of what that change would look like. And so for the rest of your life, you're going to deal with, anytime change comes up, you're going to deal with fear. And it's going to be emotions that are flooding your body, and you're going to have to figure out a way to deal with it. So how do we deal with this fear, Josh? Please tell me. Thanks for all the bad news. I appreciate that. But what the heck do I do? So the first thing we can do is we say our fears out loud. Now, I know that sounds silly, but you would be amazed how many times I've been on a one-on-one coaching call with someone, and by simply asking them questions and getting them to say things out loud, most of the time people answer their own questions. Now, I'm going to pick a scenario here that I know that everyone struggles with, okay? I've been on enough coaching calls to know that everyone struggles with reaching out to new people. Does anyone on here get excited about messaging new people to invite them to a challenge group? Probably not, right? We get a little scared. Emma raised her hand. She gets excited because she's awesome. But for most of us, it's a little bit of a struggle to reach out to new people. So here's what you might do. Just say it out loud. I am afraid to message, let's make up a name, Judy. I don't think there's any Judys on here. If there is, sorry. I am going to message Judy, and I am scared to death because she might not respond. Now, do you hear how stupid that is when I say it out of my mouth? If she doesn't respond, you don't have to have the conversation, which means, guess what? You don't have to do anything out of your comfort zone, right? So it's kind of a win-win situation there. I don't want to message Judy because she might think I'm salesy. I've heard those words 100,000 times. I don't want to sound salesy. Okay, well, what are you saying to her that makes you sound salesy? I mean, are you messaging her and saying, hey, you're such a cool cat and I'd love for you to join my challenge group because Shakeology is the bomb? None of you are stupid enough to message something like that. So I don't know why we're all so scared of being salesy. The truth is we're more scared of what people think of us. We're scared that people will think that we're some scammer or spammer or whatever. And if we'll just say that out loud, most of the time that will help us. If that doesn't help you, say it out loud to someone you know and you trust, because sometimes they can help you walk through things. Second thing we can do to overcome our fears is to have a strong connection to our why. How many of you, when you got on your health journey, You're struggling to push play every day. It was an emotional battle, but you just thought to yourself, I'm going to do this for me because I'm sick and tired of where my life's been headed and I want something different. We can have a why for our business too. For me personally, I've worked a day job. I still trying to work out of my day job and I'm getting so close. But for 9 years now, I've been detailing cars. Now, it may sound neat, but cleaning people's cars is not fun, okay? I work in a shop with no air conditioning, and I work on commission, which means the harder I work, the more money I make. And in order to pay my bills for my wife and my 3 kids, I have to work really hard. And if I don't work really hard, guess what? Our bills don't get paid. So I don't really have a choice. So for 9 years, I've had no vacation, no sick time, and I've had to show up for work every single day at 7 a.m. working in an unair conditioned shop and find motivation to make money. Now, that is enough to kick me in the pants and say, Josh, go home and work on your business. I don't know what it is for you. I don't know if you're like me and maybe you haven't been on a vacation in 10 years or maybe it's 11 years. I don't really know, honestly, anymore. Maybe you're like me and when my youngest son had 3 open heart surgeries and I didn't have paid time off from my work, I had to play benefit concerts and sell t-shirts. I created my own clothing line to try to fund me being in the hospital with my kid. I don't think anyone should have to do that. These are the kind of connections that I have to every single day work my business. Because every single day I'm scared. Okay? Fear is not something you ever just don't have in your life. Every single day I'm scared. I'm scared that my business won't work out. I'm scared that maybe my bills won't get paid. I'm scared that I'm never actually going to get to go to Orlando and get my official certification from John Maxwell that I have to come up with a whole lot of money in order to fly out to Orlando and do. I have all these fears, but you know what's even scarier? Working my job for another 3 years. Not taking another vacation. Sorry, my phone's trying to update its software. So what are you afraid of in your life? And let me ask you this. How can we combat that fear with the struggles you're having that you're trying to get out of? So I want you to think about that. What am I afraid of? Is it logical? Or is it just false evidence appearing real? Is the thing I'm scared of actually a legit, logical thing like a saber-toothed tiger hanging out at the end of the road? Or is it really just a matter of, I don't feel like doing it, it's outside of my comfort zone? We have to realize at some point that we have got to step out of our comfort zone if we want to grow. We have to look our fear in the eye, face it, and keep moving on anyway. John Maxwell talks about the law of the rubber band. Have you ever used a rubber band before? Have you ever found a way to use the rubber band without stretching it? A rubber band is 100% useless until it's stretched. If you want to hold papers together, what do? You stretch it around the papers. If you want to, I don't know, make a ponytail, whatever, what do? You got to stretch it and wrap it around. And you have to basically find a way to stretch it or it's not of any use. Your life is similar. If you're not stretching yourself, probably you're not seeing a lot of results. Probably you're not growing very much, and probably your business isn't growing very much. So at the end of the day, I want to ask you this. Is it worth it? Something that I ask my one-on-one coaches almost all the time is this simple question. What do you have to lose versus what do you have to gain? That puts things in some pretty big perspective. If you're dealing with fear about messaging someone, reaching out to someone, what do you have to lose? Well, you have your ego to lose. You have some pride to lose, maybe 15 or 20 seconds of your time to lose, but what do you have to gain? What if that person signs up, you make $30 off that, right? Or, something like that, around $30. What if they have such incredible results that they sign up to be a coach? Now you're building your team, you're building your business. What happens if they become such an incredible coach that they sign up several other coaches under them and they help change lives that you would never even be able to touch? Now, when we put it that way, it seems kind of silly not to message someone when we think about all of the things there are to gain. So here's the deal. I want to give you guys all a homework assignment, because if there's no homework, if you're one of my coaching clients, you've probably heard me say this 1,000 times. If there's no homework, all we did was had a fun chat. And it may feel good, and you may have got a couple of laughs because I'm stupid and I like to make people laugh. But at the end of the day, you're going to wake up tomorrow and those feelings are going to be gone. Or if not tomorrow, for sure Monday morning. I swear Monday morning, it's like an emotional reset. Any good feelings you had, automatically gone. Okay? If we don't put action to what we learn, then we really didn't learn anything. We just had a good talk. So here's your homework assignment. I want everyone on this call to make a video of what fear it is that you're dealing with right now in your business, or preferably in your business or your health journey, something Beachbody related. What is the biggest fear that you're dealing with? And then what are you going to use that I talked about tonight to help you overcome that fear, okay? And I want you to post that in your team page, whether it's Let Your Light Shine or whether it's Fire Away. I want you to post that in your team page. And here's what I'm going to do. We're going to have a giveaway. Starting in August, I'm going to be doing a 4-week training course for people specifically in multi-level marketing. I'd like to say even more specific Beachbody, because I freaking love Beachbody. But, we got to let some of the other people in too. Some of them are doing cool stuff. And what it's going to be is, from all the coaching calls that I've done with 20 plus clients, I have found that there are 4 main things that people in their business are struggling with. And it just so happens that they're the 4 same things that I struggled with my first year in business. So I put together a 4-week course to teach on those things, just like I did on fear tonight. First of all, teach on those things. And then second of all, coach you through those things to come up with a specific game plan. And then third of all, to have just some open Q&A where you can ask me any questions you have, almost like a free mini, free one-on-one coaching session at the end of each. So here's the deal. One person from Team Let Your Light Shine is going to get a 100% free 4 weeks of training. I'm going to let you join the group for free. And then one person in Fire Away is also going to get that same thing. All you have to do is by tomorrow night at this time, have a video made, posted to the page, to your team page, and then I'm going to do a drawing, one person from each team page. And you are going to get 4 weeks of free training that's going to help you get momentum going. I'm not kidding. You are going to get some freaking momentum going, and we're going to get your business moving in the right direction. So if that's something you'd like to be a part of, make a video, post it to the team page, and then I want to challenge everyone. Go watch everyone's videos, listen to them, and then provide support. That's what we're here for. We're all family, right? So I want you guys to understand a couple things. That first of all, there are ways for us to overcome fear by using the simple things I talked about tonight. But I also want you to understand this, that our family is here to support us. And whatever fear it is you're dealing with, whatever struggle it is you have, your family is here to help you. And they want to walk you through this. So I want you to make a video, post it to the page, and then I want everyone to just chime in and encourage the crap out of everybody and help them get through their fears and let them know that they're not alone, okay? So I'm going to give it over to Emma. I'm more than happy to stick around if anybody has any questions, but thank you guys so much for letting me be a part of your team call tonight. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was taking notes, and I just love how you were talking about the rubber band thing. That was really awesome. I've never heard that before, and that really stuck with me. So yeah, I was gonna say we can leave it open for some questions. If anyone has questions, maybe put them in the chat box, and then he can answer them as they start coming. But I also, let's clarify for the video. So the video they're posting in the team page is about the fear that they are having in their business right now, right? And how they overcome that with everything that they heard from tonight from what you were talking about. Okay.
Exactly.
Perfect. Does anyone have questions? Was this call helpful for everyone? Yes? Okay, awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. I had so many takeaways. But yeah, in this training, you guys, I know that one person from each team will be drawn, but it's also going to be up for paying for as well, right? So you'll be able to talk about that a little more, or if you want to talk about it now, you totally can, if you have figured it out.
Yeah, for sure. So it's basically for those who aren't the 2 lucky winners, it's going to be $100 for 4 weeks of training, which is honestly really stinking cheap for that kind of training. But here's the deal is I can only work with so many people one-on-one. So I thought, how can I help all of the people that I can't work in one-on-one, first of all? Second of all, can't afford regular coaching. I know some of you just got started in business and you're like, I'm already forking out $100 for my Shakeology. Like, I don't know if I can afford one-on-one coaching. So if you're on the call and you are interested in one-on-one coaching, feel free to hit me up and we can talk more about that. But if you're like, it's a little maybe out of my comfort zone financially, then for $100, you're going to get 4 weeks of training to really kickstart your business. And here's the cool thing, because I've done so many coaching calls with so many Beachbody people, these, I swear to you, are going to be the 4 things that you're struggling with. Like, I know that sounds crazy. I'm not psychic, but I swear everyone is struggling with these same 4 things. So it's going to be a huge opportunity.
And it's going to be cool too, because not only are you getting Josh's help, you're going to have everyone else in that group and you're going to hear their perspective and what they're struggling with. And it's way better to have more brains than one. I always say that. So
for sure. For sure.
It doesn't really look like anyone has any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you for being on and listening to this recording. So awesome.